Hey guys, on this episode of Hashtag Pool Guys, we are going to discuss what is the best pool for you. Hi guys, I'm Justin, the owner of American Pool and Spa, and on this episode, we're going to dive into the details of what is the best pool for you. I got my main guy here, Morgan, with our sales and VP of Sales and Design. And I'll tell you, we're going to, first off, we want to be in this video as transparent as we can. And the thing why we're going to try to help each other here is how do we help you pick out the pool that you and your family need in that backyard? Because there's so many questions, so many options, so many different avenues we can go down to take a budget from, are we at 50? Are we at 200,000?
It's more like a doctor's visit when we come to see. We need to know what you want, what you're thinking, how you're feeling. What can we do for you to make everything best for you and your family? It's not a matter of us trying to get a sale or get you to go to this or get you to do that. It's a matter of what you need, what budget you have, and what your preferences are for you and your kids.
So as far as our pool industry, we've hit our highest peak that we've ever hit as far as the numbers of pools people are doing to sales. The point what I'm trying to make here is if we're not ready for you today, or you're not ready today, then hopefully next week, years from now, whatever, we can be your pool guys to help guide you through this process. That's what we want to talk about today. So let's dive into what pool fits your needs, and the biggest question we get the most is budget. So let's dive into that first question. So Morgan, as far as when we try to kind of talk with customers, I think the most important thing is starting off explaining to customers how we like to walk you through with the types of questions and what our process is when we come out and meet you for the first time.
Oh yeah, I show up with a list of questions for you. I need stuff answered so I can help get you on the right page to make sure you have the right pool for your yard. I need to take a look in your backyard, see the elevations. I need to see if we're working with a 1 foot, 0 elevation change, 10 foot of elevation change, because different pools do better with different yards. Our hybrid pools do great with a small elevation change in the yard. They actually become more budget effective than any other pool. Flat yards, fiberglasses are an amazing choice. Any yard you have is always good for a gunite pool. That just falls down to whether you have the budget to accommodate.
So as far as that, we would like, when we meet with you, we like to ask a list of questions. And those questions sometimes consist of, what is your budget? But before we get into that, it's what are all the different options and things that make that budget kind of go crazy? So when we dive further into that, you can have, like he said, he mentioned all the different types of pools. There are 3, from the concrete, the fiberglass, and vinyl liner. Now, our first thing is, what does your family need inside of that pool? So when you think about a pool, let's start here. Have you ever swam in a swimming pool? Now you're thinking, duh, absolutely I have. Well, the thing is, what did you enjoy about it? What did you love?
Do you know what type of pool it was?
Yeah, so as far as that, what was the touch, the feel, what was that environment or that atmosphere like for you to enjoy it? So when we talk about these things, do you want a tanning ledge? Do you want steps? Do you want bench seating? Do you need the rock waterfall? Do you want some kind of sound when you're just reading a book by the pool and tanning and laying out? So these are things we think about when you have bubblers or a slide. All those different options. But these different options sometimes can raise the price up, or some of it can drive it down. Like we said with our hybrid vinyl liner pools, what we can do with those as far as retaining wall, we can save you money there. So when we're talking and discussing, it really starts at your backyard. So let's start with the backyard. When we get there and we get a design and their vision, what are we able to do from that process moving then forward?
Getting the design's always the fun part. After I've talked with you in your yard and you get to see, who we are and what we do, tell me what you want. I come back and design a 3D rendering that shows you your house, your yard with your new backyard paradise. You get to see everything, every detail, the elevation changes, everything that you could imagine that you may have had a question about as to where your pool goes, what size your pool needs to be. It's all right there in the design, so we can really get down to what's important after that.
And I'll tell you, the greatest thing about the 3D renderings that we do, we take your home your backyard, your plat, all of your information is what we gather. And what we do is make that pool in your backyard come to life. So you can actually see it. And when you see that, it helps so much on that visual to say, oh my gosh, I love this, you know, I don't like this. And we can kind of then start getting to a good spot as far as quoting and getting you nailed down to the pool that fits for you and your family. Now, when we talk about layout and things like that, you know, we went through yard access as far as what the elevation, those are obviously things that can change a budget. And those are sometimes costs that are, you know, not really things that, you know, that are very, I guess you could say, like a rock waterfall, a bubbler, a unique water feature. It obviously you're paying for that extra expense, but you're getting something out of it. It sucks sometimes because customers will go, well, I don't want to spend X amount, whatever that is, on a retaining wall. But we try to be honest where we shoot it with a transit to say, hey, when we design this, this is what we're hoping we can pull off, we want to do for you. And I don't use the word hope, but we want to make sure we try to save as much as we can, because obviously everyone wants the biggest bang for their buck.
We've all got a budget. We have budgets on what we do, so we know you do too. We want to meet that budget.
So to make that happen, we try to be honest with you and us and ourselves to how can we make this, you know, feasible and in a realistic budget. So like we said, the first question is asking yourself from budget to then the next thing is what accessories or pool inside the pool things you want, you need, and then let's start about maintenance. So now let's talk about number 3, maintenance. What are things you need on your pool? For example, personally, and I'm going to join with you, I like a good comfortable swim. So there comes in a heater. So there's heater. You got salt systems, you've got different ways to take care of your pool, we've got UV lights, all this. What does all this mean? Do I have to have it? Those are things we can talk when we're with you. We can discuss all these different things and options, and a lot of this too depends on what style pool you go with. Every pool could use all of these things we've mentioned, but of course, some, for example, I'm going to personally say, when you go to a larger pool like a Beyond, so your standard pool is a 1635. When you go to an 1830 or 1820, 20 by 40, it's a lot of body of water. Personally, for a comfortable swim, you're going to need a heater. Now, a smaller pool in some climates, you might be able to get away with not having it, but no matter what, having a heater extends the life of your pool season from, in our area, from April to November, where usually you might only be Mayish, June to October, September, October-ish, you know. So that's one, you know, those are some things we like to discuss with you guys to make sure we're getting the best things for you all. Now, we get this question a lot. Can I add these things later? Let's talk about on a pool, things you can add now and must, if you're thinking about it, things you can do later.
That's a good question, and that is something we get a lot. You can add almost anything later if you plan for it in the beginning. So every water feature needs water. If we don't plan for it from the beginning, your pump may not be rated at high enough to get that water later. You may not have enough suction in your pool to add water to spit out later on down the road. We have to plan for those things in the beginning, or you may not be able to add them down the road.
So let's take, for example, like Morgan was saying, if you're talking things around the pool, for example, lights, water features, those are things typically you already got to plan and have done now. But things that are after the fact, those are usually simple in the fact of at the equipment pad. So what that is where the pump, filter, and all that is housed and sitting. You can add a heater later. You can tie that into the plumbing. You can add a salt system later, a chlorinator, UV light, all those things you can add later at the equipment pad. But your basics, you must always have a pump and a filter. That's it for this episode of #Poolguys on what's the best pool for you. We hope you guys have found this educational, entertaining. Please smash the like button. Please subscribe to our channel and give us feedback on any questions that you may have, because we would love to turn those questions into videos and answer those for you, and not just you, but other customers out there that are wanting to know and learn more about the swimming pool. So we hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm Justin. Morgan, we're out. See you guys on the next episode.